Welcome everybody. So yes, I am performing on my bed today, which is really how I got started as a teenager, doing a lot of practice with cards, sitting on the bed, watching TV, listening to the radio. But since today we're going to talk about gambling, I'm going to spread the cards so they face you, so I can't cheat much. So I need two cards, the Queen of Spades and the Jack of Diamonds. But make sure it's the only Jack of Diamonds and the only Queen of Spades in the entire deck. That'll be important later. So to spread through, you can help me find those two cards. And here's the Queen of Spades. So this is the first card that we need. Now make sure it's the only Queen of Spades in the deck. And we also need the Jack of Diamonds. So looking for the Jack of Diamonds. And here's the Jack of Diamonds. So those are the two cards that we need, the Queen of Spades and Jack of Diamonds. Now I have a few cards left, and to keep things honest, let's make sure there are no Queen of Spades and no Jack of Diamonds in the rest of the cards. And we're ready to proceed. Now besides those two cards, I need two other cards, but I'm not going to show you what they are just yet. And as I look for those cards, I'm going to tell you a little story. So a lot of the magic that I learned from my Uncle Mac. You see, he loved playing cards. He was what's known as a card mechanic. Now, a card mechanic is somebody you don't want to play cards with. Because at the end of the night, you would just think that you lost all your money because you had a bad night. Well, as my uncle got older, he stopped gambling, but he showed me some things with playing cards that I thought were magical when I was very young. And then as I got older, well, here we are. He taught me some of these things. Now one day he's telling me about a time he gambled with some rather bad gamblers. They were very crude in their methods. They had their cards marked on the back so they knew what they were, but in a very crude manner, and my uncle could actually read the backs of their cards. So the game continued, and my uncle thought he'd have a little fun with them. As the cards were dealt, he noticed that one player had the Queen of Spades. He noticed the other player had a Jack of Diamonds. So no problem there, but then he noticed the other player had the Jack of Diamonds and the Queen of Spades as well. Well, the game continued. The cards were shuffled and the cards were dealt. On this round, he noticed one player had the Jack of Diamonds. He noticed another player also had the Jack of Diamonds. He noticed that the third player had the Jack of Diamonds, and while my uncle, he had the Queen of Spades. And the game continued. The cards were shuffled, and the cards were dealt. This time, one player had the Queen of Spades. My uncle noticed that another player also had Queen of Spades. My uncle noticed that the third player, well, he had the Queen of Spades too, and my uncle, you can guess, he also had the Queen of Spades. Well, at this point, it was my uncle's turn to deal, and really he had enough. So he decided to shuffle the cards. And the cards were dealt to each player. This time, however, my uncle decided to end the game and give himself the 1, 2, 3, 4 aces. Well, when I was younger, my uncle told me some stories about gambling. And he told me a couple of things. He said there were many different gamblers out there, many different levels of expertise. He said that one gambler does not deal off the top of the deck, but they can deal the second card from the top of the deck, which my uncle would then proceed to demonstrate. My uncle said that there are some more advanced gamblers. They don't deal from the top. In fact, they don't even deal the second card from the top. They can actually deal the third card from the top of the deck, which my uncle would then proceed to demonstrate. My uncle said there's another type of cheating. They don't deal from the top. They can actually deal from the bottom of the deck. The card they want is on the bottom of the deck. So the cards are shuffled, the cards are cut, and the dealer just picks up the deck and deals from where they were cut. Acceptable in a friendly game, but the card that he needs is on the bottom of the deck. So this time the cards would be dealt, to each player, and the card that he wants comes off the bottom of the deck. Well, there's even one gambler that even gamblers are afraid of. That person can actually take a card and deal that card from anywhere they want in the deck, known as center dealing. Now the card starts in the middle of the deck. I'm sorry, let me make that a little bit closer to the middle. Now the card begins in the center of the deck, and my uncle decided to demonstrate as he slowly squared up the cards so that no card was sticking out. He then said they can deal from anywhere that they want in the deck. And then my uncle, well, he just got up from the table and left the room. All these years, I thought, as far as card handling was concerned, that I knew everything that there was to learn. And then I looked at that card. And it was at that moment that I realized I knew nothing, and I still had so much more to learn.